Hey there, and welcome to our second episode here in January. Of course, today is January 14th. We're already in the middle of the month of January. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I am Morticia Sherman, a licensed professional therapist, counselor, psychotherapist. I deal with mental health um, on all levels. Welcome to the show. Welcome to our second episode of Stigma Breaking the Things That We Don't Say, where the space here is judgment free. You don't have to worry about anybody saying that nothing out of the, I want to say, this platform was created for those who want a safe space, who want to be able to come in, know more about mental health, the things that are equated with mental health. The space where the truth gets told, shame gets evicted, and healing gets to become human again. So, why did I create this platform? And this platform was truly created for those who really want to be healed or to find their healing, to hear the truth. I always say I don't have time to sugarcoat anything to us or for us because of the mere fact that that's the thing that's been going on forever. People are totally not getting told the truth. And I was told, biblically wise, when you tell the truth shall set you free. I'm your host, Morticia Sherman. I also go by the unapologetic therapist. And today we're going to talk about the things people whisper about, avoid, deny, and bury, but still carry every single day. That heavy weight of who can I talk to? Who can I trust? Who's going to hear what I have to say and not judge me? This is not therapy as usual. This is truth telling with tenderness. This is healing with humor. This is clarity with compassion. So take a breath, take a seat. Um, let's take what you need. I always say, whenever you're eating, like you eat your food, it's already separated. You have your plate and your dishes there. You may have your meat, your rice, whatever else you have on there, and how it's separated. This is what you do in this podcast, on this segment, because we talk about all things mental health. And mental health always starts with a decision, it always starts with a thought. Uh, because today we're breaking the stigma wide open. Let's set a tone. The tone is come have a seat on a couch with Tish. And having that seat on the couch with Tish, I want you to be so transparent. I want you to be so open to just hearing to get your healing. And if it's not for you, pass it along. Like I said, like, share, and subscribe. I know you're seeing the different background. And I had to get away from the dark setting because a lot of times darkness, people equate darkness with mental health. So now you're seeing the brighter version of our new company, Therapeutic Escape Space. We're right here in spring. Uh, I see individuals starting from the age of 13 on up to 100. So it is talk therapy. So there are going to be some topics that are going to come about. Some people still are going to be able to come on the show and talk about different things. I'm going to bring some people back. As a matter of fact, as my listening audience, tell me the people that you would like to see come back to the show that had some information that you, the listener, the audience, want to hear more about, and the things that you may have encountered in not just your personal life, but people around you. Um, and that information that you can be able to provide to those who are saying, hey, I'm tired of dealing with this. I need to find someone to talk to. I need to find somewhere to go. I need to be able to do the things that I need to do to get my healing. So, We're going to set some healthy boundaries. And I say this, when you're setting healthy boundaries, don't just set those boundaries for people, but set them for yourself as well. Because this year, I've told a lot of people this is your no, not right now, or your no, I'm not doing it at all year. So 2026, set some things in motion for yourself for the next 30 days, for the next 60 days, for the next 90 days. I get it. Vision board. I was on a soapbox last year about vision boards, but if that works for you, that works for you. Even though the scripture says, write the vision and make it plain. If you want to add pictures to it, that's you. This is a judgment free zone, but I always say if you don't know better, you won't do better and you will respond differently. So when you're doing a vision board, know the purpose of why you're doing that vision board. Don't just put pictures on there saying that these are the things that you want without knowing the consequences and the cause that come behind that. And a lot of times when people do vision boards, I would have to say, and this is me as a licensed professional counselor, and this is clearly my opinion. So when you're on this podcast with me, a lot of things I'm coming from experience as well as you're going to get my opinion. That's a strong disclosure that I'm giving you. So, whatever I'm saying, I can back it up. But what I do want to explain to you is you can do your own research as well. Don't Googleize. And that's one thing I say. Stop Googleizing everything. Google does not have the truth. And I found that out the other day when I was asked to pull up uh, uh, um, information on a store, and come to find out the store hours were not what was on Google. The store had closed. So and it closed at 6 instead of 8. Google had that it closed at 8, but it closed at 6. So getting back to what I'm saying is, don't feel a certain way and then turn around and Google it and it's not the truth. Do some extensive research. I had before where you were able to get the phone number if you wanted to reach out to me. That's my phone number. That's my office number, 346-525-4981. You can text me even when you go onto my website. It has that text mode on there, and my website is www.y, the letter Y, H is in Harry, E is in Edward, C is in Charles, the number 8 for infinity. The number 8 also means new beginnings, and I'm all about the new beginning for you as an individual. So new beginnings, the number 8, N is Nancy, T is in Tom.com. So that is my email information at the bottom. The office number is at the bottom. I do not like gatekeeping. So if you need the information, I do 15-minute consultations. You can get a lot of information out of me because I believe in sharing, because I want to see you win. I want to see you win in every aspect of your life. So let's get back to this vision board stuff. So last year, I was on this tangent soapbox about vision board because by experience, a lot of times we put those pictures on the vision board and it doesn't happen. And when those things don't happen, you cannot tell me that it does not bother you. It does not mess with your mental, especially when you're seeing things and you're seeing people's lives move differently from yours and you're not where you want to be. So then you start feeling like things are not happening for you. You know, why are things not moving? Why I haven't seen this new job that I'm manifesting? Why am I not seeing the house that I want? Why I'm not seeing the cars that I want? So this year, for 2026, I changed the dynamics of what I'm seeing, and it's called the manifesto. What do you want to manifest for yourself in the next 30 to 60 to 90 days? Don't make it a whole year thing of where you're seeing all this stuff and you're saying, oh, this year for 2026, I want to see this, without speaking those things and seeing them manifest. So here's what I have to say to you. This podcast is actually a movement. This is not just a regular podcast. I'm here to give you the truth of the story. I'm here to talk to you straight from the heart. And that is, go ahead, do your vision boards, but have a manifesto about yourself. Talk about the things that you truly want to manifest and give yourself that time to manifest those things. If you're saying, I want a job, a better job, give yourself that time of 30 days. What are you doing within that 30 days? Are you redoing your resume? Are you doing your headshots? Are you doing it? You have to have legs with those things and having a vision board and putting it on the wall and just walking by it and saying, oh, this is what I'm going to have. This is what I'm going to do. No, you have to learn how to put legs to things just the same as with your mental health. You have to put legs to that. I was just told today in a conversation, and I have to do my research on this, that Donald Trump just uh my goodness, that upsets me. Donald Trump just cut the budget for mental health care by $2 billion. I sat up there and I said, I hope that it has nothing to do with veterans, most definitely, because, and those alike, people need to be able to have that talk therapy. I, for one, have a sliding scale for mine, and I have a contract with my sliding scale because I go intense with, I have sessions, and the intensity is anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. And if you're willing to work with me, I'm willing to work with you. And that's another reason why I have a nonprofit side to the business, is because a lot of times we want to afford what we want to afford, and we don't want to pay what we don't want to pay. But I'm asking to be realistic about what we're doing. So when it comes to your mental health, when it comes to having that time to talk and freely talk and get healed, I'm not just the only therapist here, but there are many. Like I said, I don't gatekeep. If I'm not able to work with you, I know plenty of other individuals that may meet your standards and you may qualify for it. So let's talk about the stigma nobody wants to admit that they believe. What is one stigma that has been told to you about mental health that you have been believing for so long that I can address to let you know that that is not fact? One being, what is really a stigma? If you've never told anyone, or have you ever told anyone, just get over it, then this is for you. This podcast, these episodes are for you. When you know that someone has told you to get over it, may it be the loss of a loved one, may it be the loss of a job, may it be the loss of a relationship, it could be anything. Grief is what I really, really hone into, and I'm perfecting that craft because grief covers a great deal of a lot of things outside of the death or the loss of a loved one. Grief can cover you moving from a different state and the mood. Of course, we just talked about seasonal affective disorder and how in seasons, just like our body changes in seasons, you have winter, you have spring, you have summer, you have fall. Your body also goes along with those seasons. So take note to how you're feeling at that time and in that season so you can know how to effectively regulate your emotions. I talk about emotional deregulation. I talk about the myth behind what we are told about our emotions. And I even told you one of my favorite movies of all times. Actually, I'm a Disney girl. I tell my clients all the time. Actually, I tell my individuals because that's what they are. They're not just clients. They are there wanting to help. I always tell them, hey, if ever you come, there's going to be times where you're going to get, and I don't call it homework. I don't like the word homework. When you hear the word homework, it makes you think you're going to school. You're not going to school. With me, you're getting life experience assignments. Life experience assignments mean so much more than homework because I want you to be able to experience those things that we talk about so you can best regulate your emotions. So when I give you a life experience assignment, I may say, hey, go watch. And for couples, I'm quick to say a few movies that I love, love, love that helped me in my time when I was married until when I got divorced. One is Fireproof. I love Fireproof. That movie really sees the different sides of each marriage and how to really work through some things. For my singles, I always say go watch Eat, Pray, Love. I'm giving you some tidbits. This is free stuff. I'm treating you like you're right here with me at a session or talk therapy. For those who love movies, movie buff, I love Disney. I will tell you, hey, if you got the Disney Channel, if you don't have the Disney Channel, watch Inside Out 1 and 2. And especially if you're a parent and you have children, that helps them to learn that those emotions that they have. Notice I didn't say feelings, I said emotions. We were created with emotions. If you don't display any of your emotions, please let me know if you're a robot or not. Go paint yourself or let me paint you and find out if you're human because a lot of times we as individuals treat ourselves like we're robots that's working even when we're working for corporate America, working for a job. We forget to sit back and breathe because again, they will tell you at these companies, if you leave, there's always somebody else that can replace you. So don't be a robot. Take that time out to breathe and get to know who you are and whose you are and how you function properly and regulate your emotion. So this stigma is ruining families, and we need to name it. I have to say so. When you're talking about stigmas and not regulating your emotions, how it is really putting you in this box of get over it. Nothing's wrong. If something's wrong, let's talk about it. And then when you talk about those things, then the family member is like, ooh, did you not know so and so is going through this? Did you not know that they're going through depression? Did you not know that they're losing everything? Did you know? So here's the thing, it's totally up to you, but you can have talk therapy. It's the beginning of the year. If you're working for a company and you have insurance, lean in a little closer. Let me tell you something. There's something called the EAP program, Employee Assistance Program, where you get sessions for free. It can go throughout the year. You don't have to use it at the beginning of the year. But that's a secret that you don't pay attention to. It's free because you've already paid for it. So use it. Find you someone that you can sit down that may help you with your budgeting. If you're overly stimulated because you're trying to get your finances together for the month, if you overly stimulated because last year was pretty rough for you, 2025, 2024, 2023, all those years before were pretty rough, and you've been weighing that on your shoulders, use your EAP program. It's free. They say it's free because you're not paying out of pocket. They're paying for you to go and talk to someone. And when you find a company that has those benefits for you, take advantage of it. Use it to the benefit of what you have. A lot of people are getting these insurance uh, programs with higher deductible. Also, be mindful of your insurance. If you've already done your insurance for November during the time of open enrollment, I hope that you paid attention to it because some of these insurance companies are canceling out mental health care. You heard it. You heard it. They are canceling out mental health care because they don't see it as a necessity. And as long as you don't see it as a necessity, then they won't see it as a necessity. There's nothing wrong with talking to a therapist. There's nothing wrong with calling and talking, doing a chat with a licensed professional counselor. There's nothing wrong with talking to a social worker. There's nothing wrong with talking to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I am very holistic in what I do. I am not one, if you're looking for someone to give you some medication because you've been on medication all this time, I'm very holistic. We're going to find our own way of coping and effective, evidence based, effective coping skills that would help you be able to process your emotions, to help you process the overwhelming feelings that you're getting. And one thing we don't do when we wake up in the morning is we don't get up and take a deep breath before we hit the floor. I have found that when you, and I did my research, you can do your own. I have found out that when you wake up in the morning, before you touch the floor, let your feet hang. It depends on how high your bed is. My bed is pretty high. But in your bed, just let your feet hang and take some deep breaths. At least do the 4-6-2 method. You inhale for 4, you hold it for 6, and then you release it in 2. You do that 10 times. That sends oxygen to your brain. It helps motivate the thoughts that are going in your head. It releases more dopamine than what you can think, as well as it prepares you. And also, if you are a water drinker, before you do coffee, before you do soda, drink an 8-ounce cup of warm lemon water that lets your body know that it's woke. So, today we're doing part 2. I've given you some information about stigmas and stigma breaker. Today we're still doing stigma breaking and the things we don't say. One is we have to be able to notice when we're being triggered. We have to be able to notice those things that are causing us to have a disruptive behavior. And what I mean by that, when it comes to our family, when it comes to our friends, when it comes to our job, when it comes to religion, let's begin to normalize our emotions and normalize the experiences that we're having. So if you're overwhelmed, just say, hey, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overstimulated. Here lately, what I've been saying to a lot of parents when it comes to their kids, the one who, again, with everything that's going on with the diagnosis of autism, neurodivergent, ADHD, becoming overly stimulated as well as being understimulated. And what I mean by understimulated, if you are one that likes tangible things that like the texture and stimulating of your fingertips and whatnot, you can be understimulated to where your mind is trying to find something to do at all times and you can't focus because you're understimulated. So finding things that make you a bit not overstimulated, but more stimulated than being understimulated. You can have a fidget, you can have a stress ball, you can have different things that will take the tension off of what you're seeing or what you're experiencing at that moment. So, stigma doesn't survive in truth. When we talk about stigma, it doesn't survive in truth, it survives in silence. So, when you're being silent about things that you're dealing with, whether it be emotionally, mental, financially, just all of those things, when you're silent about those things, you're giving stigma room to grow. You're giving stigma a space and a place to tell you how to live your life. You're not broken, you're conditioned. So you have to uncondition yourself from that stigma and allow those things, give them a name. I gave that in a podcast last year. Name it, name that thing, and speak to it, just like you would in a store. When you're walking in the store, do I need these frosted flakes? No, I really don't. I think I have a box at home. Well, when you're overly stimulated, say, hey, I'm overly stimulated. I can't focus. What is causing me to do that? And a lot of times it's those small foxes that you're missing that's causing you to be overly stimulated. People don't fear therapy, they fear being seen. I want to see you. I want to see the best version of you. And just because you had a mental health episode doesn't mean that, you know, you should not be seen. We all have experienced days when we are sad. We all have experienced days when we didn't want to be bothered. We all have experienced days when we don't want to go outside and deal with people. We don't want to people. We don't want to people different things. We don't want to people or do different things around. We don't want to go to a store. We don't want to walk around in crowds. We don't want to do these things. And a lot of it escalated when COVID happened because then you didn't have to go outside. You didn't have to talk to people. You didn't have to do all these things. But do you not know that you need communication for stimulation? You need communication for stimulation. You can't always talk to yourself. And I find it very interesting, should I say, to say the least. I find it very interesting when people don't want to people, but they isolate themselves so much to where when it's time for you to start people and people, you don't know how to effectively people. And with that, I hear a lot of people say, well, I don't like to talk to people. I'd rather talk to my pet. Is it because they don't respond? You don't want to hear? You don't want to be seen? So you walk in the fear of, I don't want to do therapy for the fear of being seen. So if you're not ready for a therapist like me, I have some people that will allow you to or to say the things that you want to hear. I'm not one. I'm not going to say anything that you may want to hear. And not just that, I ask the question, and one of my major questions is, are you a believer? So I can have a clear understanding of what I need to say in a session to respect you as well as I would want you to respect me. So, with that, here's the thing that I've learned about therapy and talk therapy is a lot of times when you say things out loud and you hear yourself, then you begin to say, did I really think about that? Did I really say that out loud? Did I really respond in that manner? Because I've had plenty of times where I'll push. I will push. I will push because I want you to give me that feedback back. And I always say this, you may not like me, but even when we're in that moment of talking, you may not like me, but at least I know that you're processing that information, especially if you say, lady, stop talking to me. Hands off. Because I want you to be able to process exactly what you said out loud to me that I gave you the feedback for. So, things that we don't want to say, things that we need to say is, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And that's okay to not be okay, but it's also the best way for you to find out how to get back to being okay. As a therapist, I don't always have good days. There are times where I'm so heavy with things till I'll cry and people don't even know that I'm crying except for my therapist would know. But again, that's because I see how effective it is just to have someone to be able to talk to say these things out loud where I can hear myself in what I'm seeing. Because a lot of times when we listen to what we're seeing, we will go back to ourselves and say, hey, I didn't even know how to really properly, effectively process that emotion. I am also a music buff. And there are a lot of times when I hear situations that go on, a song will pop up in my head. And I'm like, have you ever heard this song before? And one of my favorite male artists, just he's one, well, actually, I have many, but when it comes to talking about different things, when it comes to couples, Life Jennings has this one song. It's called College. And if you just really listen to that, it's not just talking about him and the relationship that he's in, but you also have to treat yourself like you're learning yourself every day. You should be learning something new about yourself every day to break that stigma and be able to say the things that you otherwise would not say, to be able to help yourself effectively process your emotions. So, tonight, I just really have to give you some great tools, and one is a reframing statement. One, before you start saying these generational cliches that are out here, I need you to really think about that before you say it and reframe it. And what I mean by reframing, rewrite that narrative. You can rewrite the story of your life now, starting today. And I gave you tools in the beginning, the 30, 60, 90. Reframe, rewrite your story. Your story that you have is a story that was given to you upon birth, through your parents, through your family, or whatnot. But you can rewrite the narrative and approve what it is. And please let it be a lot of positive. Have a grounding technique. Where do you stand? How are you grounded in things? What motivates you to keep wanting to move forward? Not just your why, because sometimes your why may not be your true why. It may be a why not, but understanding what your true purpose is. Having a conversation, have a deep conversation. And sometimes deep conversations could be that in a journal. You can journal your conversation and go back and reread those things. Every year for my birthday, I always write a Dear Me letter. And in that Dear Me, I talk about things that I grew from the year, as well as what I would like to grow into the next year. Boundaries, setting healthy boundaries for you, not just the people around you. If you're going to set a healthy boundary for them to not come within your circumference of different things, set that for yourself. So if you're going to tell somebody no about something, make sure you're telling yourself no about that same thing. Because if you say, oh no, I'm not going to do that, but then you second guess yourself and you say, you know what, I'm thinking, no, you need to have a healthy boundary. Healthy boundaries will help you decrease those overwhelming, intrusive thoughts, those things that you otherwise are saying to yourself, hey, I need help with this. Journaling prompts. A lot of times we have our phone before us. Yeah, true enough, we can verbally say those things on our phone, but it's also good to write those things out. When you see those things in writing, then you can go back and redirect them and correct them. So, breathing. I want you to be able to breathe. And I'm just not talking about breathe. No, take those deep breaths, those 4, 6, and 2. Or you can do 4, 6, and 4. Find a spot, sit in your room when you wake up in the morning, find a spot on the wall or somewhere that can gather your focus. Inhale for 4, hold it for 6, and exhale for another 4. Or you can inhale for 2, hold for 6, let out for 4. I always like to do the palms down also method, where your hands are palms down, because a lot of times we can find our heartbeat in those things, especially if your heart is racing pretty fast. And finding your heartbeat and listening to the heart to slow down that. And I use that method for those who may say that they're having small panic attacks or some form of a panic attack. So um, let's replace shame. Instead of feeling shame about those things that you're dealing with internally, because you don't want to know no one to know that you're dealing with them externally, do away with the shame. Let's have conversations about mental health. Let's replace fear with understanding. Let's replace silence with a language of I need to talk to, or I will journal this until I can get somewhere where I can talk to someone. Let's replace isolation with belonging. Let's do these things for 2026 and moving forward. Set some healthy boundaries, set some healthy goals for yourself. 30, 60, 90. You don't need to plan out the whole year. When I say that planning out the whole year can be a good thing, but it can also be a thing that can cause your anxiety and your overthinking to hit an all-time high, especially if you're not seeing those things happen. So, healing isn't loud, it's honest. You don't need to be fixed, you need to be witnessed. And you need to witness to those and let them know that you're in the healing process. Stigma dies when the truth speaks. The stigma behind mental health and mental health illness. And I said this the last podcast. We don't treat the person, we treat the disorder. We treat the illness, we treat the symptoms, we treat the diagnosis, we treat those things that are equated with a mental health illness. So if you've been diagnosed with major depressive disorder, that's what we're treating. If you've been diagnosed with bipolar, that's what we're treating. If you've been diagnosed with adjustment disorder, that's what we're treating. If you've been diagnosed any type of diagnosis, we are treating that. You are just hosting it because you're in the body that has that disorder. And what we do is we treat proper techniques. We teach evidence-based coping skills. So in this episode, the final part, because I want to make sure that you get the information. If you have any questions for me, my information is at the bottom. You can email me. You can go to my website, and it's wahican.com. And on there, there's a part on there that says chat. I get those chats. I can talk to you through those chats. Nobody else sees those chats except for me. And I can talk to you about those. Let's do some myth busting. Let's go ahead and break the myth on stigma. Let's break the myth on stereotypes. Don't allow anybody to put you in a box because you're not shaped like a box. Why would you want someone to put you in a stereotype or put you in a box according to where their mindset and their thoughts are? Um, let's talk about what people don't want to talk about. Let's have those conversations. Let's talk about things that have been holding on to you, have you in this tight hold grip since you can remember. And I'm going to talk more about men and mental health because a lot of more men are reaching out and not knowing where to go. I'm going to get back to highlighting men who are therapists. If you are a male therapist, I don't care where you are, Texas, California, Louisiana, Florida. If you know someone who has their private practice or work with a practice, let me know because I have a lot of young people who are wanting to talk to a male therapist. Not to say that they don't want to talk to me, but I believe that they're asking. And when you're asking, I want to be able to deliver. I am not a gatekeeper. I refuse to gatekeep on anything, especially when it comes to the field and the passion that I have and that I love to do. Um, a therapist behind the scene perspective. Now, I'm getting ready, and I hope that you can join me on Mondays. I'm going to do a midday Monday manifesto on Mondays for 12 noon or either 1 o'clock. So be on the lookout for the post on there. I'm going to hop on for about a good minute or so. Roughly no more than a minute. There's a lot of things going on because I am so passionate about what I'm doing. And I want to be able to reach the people that I need to reach. I want to be able to talk to the people that want to talk to me. I know everybody doesn't want to talk to me. I appreciate it. I appreciate the information that is being shared with me. Um, and I say that I am for everybody, and the reason why I say that I am for everybody, because if I can't help you, I know somebody else they can. So here's my thing. If this episode touches something in you, thank you for staying with me. Thank you for sitting on the couch with me every week. Thank you for sharing that time with me that you could otherwise be doing something else. But what I would really appreciate if you would share with someone who needs to hear the truth about stigma, destigmatizing, dismantling, disrupting the behavior that is out there. It is you that is the voice that can bring back the funding that is needed for those who do need mental health care, those who do need talk therapy, those who have children, those who have family members and loved ones who need that mental health availability to talk to someone such as myself or someone within my field that can give them the guidance. We are hope dealers. We provide hope, but I am a disruptor. I will disrupt a lot of things that are being said out here that are being stigmatized when it comes to mental health. I'm out here ready to say the things that you otherwise don't want to say. And it's okay if you want to be behind me and saying you rooting me on. I appreciate that. But I do want to enforce that this is a movement. This is not just a podcast, just out here doing our willy nilly stuff. I am truly out here being a voice to make sure that what you're saying, you're getting the coverage and the help that you need. So let's break stigmas together. Let's do it loudly as I love on you unconditionally and being unapologetic about it. Join my movement, join the movement, because there's many different moving parts in this. If you want to be a part of Color Me Stigma Free, which is our nonprofit organization, reach out to us. If you want to sponsor, you want to be a part, you want to be a member, you want to have a membership, you want to be able to give back to others out here who need that mental health care. There's so many agencies out here, but everybody can't help everybody. We all have a part to play in this mental health journey for individuals. Also, I have to share with you the things that are going on. Of course, you know that we do have an event that's coming up pretty soon that we are very excited about, and that is the art that we're doing here, coming here, which is painting your trauma on a canvas. That is happening in this month on the 29th. So, not the 29th, my apologies. The 24th. That information is already out there for those who want more information on the painting your trauma on the canvas. I can get you that information. You can reach out to me. It's on all my social media platforms. Also, we are still doing our For the Love of Basketball and Mental Health. That is coming up in February, on February 22nd. We're excited about that information that's going out, that's moving, that's going forward. Be on the lookout for the post on there, and we will add that information to all the social media platforms. You can still sign up. There's still room to sign up. We're seeing 10 people per session. That way it's real quaint, it's real intimate. Food is provided, water, tea. It's not so much of a sip and paint because I've been asked that over and over again. We're not sipping. Uh, and there is a form you will sign that I am not responsible for what you do when you're sipping, because this is a commercial property. It is being held at our conference office, here in the spring area. So we are going to do that. I'm excited about the things that are going on, for the color your paint your canvas, paint your trauma on the canvas. It is art therapy. Yes, we are having art therapy. I will send out that blast, if you want to sign up. There is a session. It's one at 11:30. There's one at 2:30, and then there's another one at 4. And it's only 10 people at a time. They're pretty much filling up pretty fast because, like I said, I wanted to where you can really enjoy and not be overwhelmed and overstimulated with a whole lot of people. Because that is not what I'm after. I'm after the Zen, the controlled environment where you can have conversation, you can network with people, and I'm all about building community. Also, with the For the Love of Basketball and Mental Health, it's the same thing. We're locking in the gym, and you'll be able to come get your team. It is $75 per team. You're allowed 5 players per team. It's half court, 3-on-3, and we're going to have fun. You can bring your family, friends can come out, build your team, contact us. The form is already available for you to fill out on Google Doc. All the information is there. I'm so excited. So from there, I will see you next Wednesday. Actually, I will see you Monday if you want to be a part of Monday Manifesto. We're going to do a short thing, 1 minute. I'll jump on. We can talk about some things. Let me help you manifest your 30, your 90-day journey. Again, this is your host, Morticia Sherman. I am a licensed professional counselor here in the great state of Texas. I service Texas, Florida, and I will soon be servicing Louisiana. Just waiting on some documentations. I do accept all major insurance, as well as I do have packages for those who want to have uh, self-pay services, and I do have a sliding scale plan. So all of that is available because I want to see you see the best version of yourself. And again, I love you to life. And when you know better, you do better and you respond differently. Have a great evening.